Good evening, I'm Dan Klein. Thanks for joining us. New information tonight about the two Purdue students at the center of a shooting on campus. Police say 21-year-old Andrew Bolt was shot and killed by 23-year-old Cody Cousins. New at 11, we'll hear from friends of both Bolt and Cousins and take you to Hovde Hall, where thousands gather to mourn the loss of a fellow student in the candlelight vigil. Plus, we'll share the sound of the story unfolding from the police scanners. But first, News 18's Kelly Roberts was on campus all day following the news unfold. She joins us now live with the latest on this developing story, which police are calling an intentional and isolated act. Kelly?
Dan, you can see me. The electrical engineering building right here behind me is still blocked off for people trying to get inside. Still, somewhat active with police coming in and out of the building. Some more about the two men, the suspect and the victim of this shooting, but there are some information we still don't know, for example, the motive. But what we do know, these two men were students and teachers' assistants here on campus.
At about noon today, we had a reporting of a shooting on campus. We have one suspect in custody, and unfortunately, one fatality.
A situation many Boilermakers have seen on the news thousands of miles away. A shooting on a college campus made its way to their own backyard Tuesday. Investigators say 23-year-old Cody Cousins, a Purdue student and teacher's assistant, walked into the electrical engineering building's basement and shot fellow student and teacher's assistant, 21-year-old Andrew Bolt. Purdue Police Chief John Cox says Cousins then walked out of the building by Northwestern Avenue unarmed and was arrested. The whole thing lasting only a few minutes.
Our partners in the community were listening to the scanners. They've responded. We probably had 25 police officers there within a minute or two.
Cousins was booked into the Tippecanoe County Jail on a preliminary charge of murder. Cox says police interviewed several witnesses who said 4 or 5 gunshots went off in the basement. What information is not known, why Cousins shot Bolt.
This individual seemed to have had intentions for the decedent and took the action the individual took, and then turned around and left the building.
Purdue President Mitch Daniels was out of the country on business, but called off classes for Tuesday evening and Wednesday. Provost Tim Sands says it will be some time before the campus recovers.
Of course, it's not over, it's just beginning, but I think this vigil tonight will be the beginning of a healing process, but it'll take a while.
Now, there will be some counselors on campus to talk to those who need them, and to find out where you can find one of those counselors, visit WLFI.com. Mitch Daniels will cut his visit to Columbia short and will be back on campus tomorrow, but in the wake of his absence, he did send a statement that they gave at the vigil tonight, and in part it says, quote, "Violent crime, whenever and wherever it occurs, shocks our conscience and incites our rage. When it happens in our home to a family member, and as a Boilermaker, Andrew Bolt was family to us, those emotions are more powerful. Our prayers tonight are with Andrew and with his parents who have suffered a loss beyond calculation or consolation." Law enforcement officers say procedures that were in place before this incident worked, and they worked well. They said classrooms were put on lockdown and a series of text alerts were sent out. And Purdue Police Chief John Cox says before the last alert was even sent out, Cousins was already in custody. Reporting live in West Lafayette tonight, Kelly Roberts, News 18.